Lucy life, farewells and decisions.
Huh?
Big Mac was on top of the hill the apple jacket indicated Cherry Blossom. He was sitting next to the apple tree that was on the top, as the sun was setting. He straightened his mane to make sure that he was. Then he took the velvet box containing the horn ring he brought for Cherry and watched it smiling. He could not wait to see Cherry accept his marriage proposal and put the ring on her horn. He had to hear the sound of hooves approaching. He then saw Cherry approaching. He hastened to close the ring box and hide it under raised tree roots. She then arrived. "Hail to my love," Max said, getting up and going to her, giving her a kiss on the cheek. Cherry then smiled a little sadly. Big Macintosh, very observant when it came to his mere friend, asked, "You okay, Cherry? You seem a little down." "I'm fine, Big Mac," she lied, allowing her best smile and rubbing her face into Big Mac's. He smiled and returned her caress. They then looked at each other. Big Mac made a great smile. Cherry Blossom felt uncomfortable with that. And she had to say goodbye to Big Mac, going up with the others before the train to the Crystal Empire left. But she could not find the courage to do so. Trying to start with something simple, to be able to find the courage to say she had to go. "So, Applejack told me she wanted to meet me if you here?" she said. "Actually, yeah," he said, taking her hooves, sitting her next to the tree, making sure he was back to the root that had the box of his horn ring. "And you, Cherry, I've loved you a lot, and I hope we'll stay together forever." "Me too, Big Mac, but," Cherry Blossom began. "Let me finish, please, or I cannot do that," Big Mac said. Since I knew you, I always wanted to do this." He began grumbling, circularly behind, trying to catch the velvet box. "Cherry, I love you so much, and I want to ask," he began, finding the box. Before he could grasp it, Cherry said, "Big Mac, wait a minute. I have to tell you one thing. It's very important. I have to tell you now, or I'll never be able to do it." "Okay, Cherry," said Big Mac, removing the hook from the box. "Big Mac, I love you a lot, and I always try to know to match your feelings," she said. "I know. That's one of the things I love in you." "But I'm so sorry, Big Mac, but I'll have to leave you," she confessed. "Yeah, I know what you're Big Mac said, not to realize what she said. What'd you say?" "I have to leave Ponyville, Big Mac," Cherry said. Big Mac was no reaction to that news. That was all he did not expect. He did not want. What he did not understand was the reason. You're leaving? To where?" "Back to my homeland," she replied, staring up and looking at the horizon. "A place far from here." "But why?" Big Mac asked, standing up and also taking some of her hooves, turning her to him. "Don't you like the boy here?" "Of course, yes," she replied, pressing her hoof down his face. "But I need to go. I need to be with my family. I was forced to part with them, but now it's time to go back. Okay?" "Go back to your old girlfriend, right?" Big Mac asked. "You're tired of me, ain't you?" "Don't say that," Cherry Blossom replied. "How could I go back to someone who I no longer love? I love with you with all my strength." "So why do you have to go? Stay here with me." "Big Mac, please don't ask me that. I had to go back to my family, but you do the same if it was you." "So I'll go with you," Big Mac decided. "If you go to the end of the world, I'll go with you." "No, I can't ask you to do that," Cherry said. "I'll not allow you." But you could. I. Okay, Google, help me with this. In case you're wondering, we're trying to figure out how to pronunciate the spelling of this word. A. B. Holy hell, it's a word! It's French. It's spelled Abdique. It apparently it's French. Um, it's apparently feminine singular of eduque. So I suppose she's speaking French now. "I will not allow you to abdicate your good life for me. I do not want you to leave your sisters, your grandmothers, the farm, or your love friends for me. I will not forgive myself if that happened." "But I love you." I love you too, Cherry Blossom said, but you don't know the whole truth. So tell me, said Big Macintosh. I'm sure I'll understand. For a moment, Cherry Blossom even thought about telling all to Big Mac, but stopped herself. I can't. Sorry. Having said that, she kissed Big Mac's lips one last time, then closed his eyes, savoring the moment. Cherry Larry broke up and said, Goodbye, Big Mac. I'll never forget you. She then started to run out there. Big Mac opened his eyes and started to depart. Cherry, what? But she didn't stop, walking away as her eyes were crying. It's hard to do that a lot, but she knew she had to do that. Big Mac saw Cherry walking away with a tear dropping, but he was not willing to give up the mare from his dreams. He began to chase her, calling her, and he lost sight of her when he reached the orchard at the base of the hill. The trees were so close that it gave good height to every pony. Cherry Blossom was actually hidden behind a tree, hoping to get away from Big Mac, and move to the farm and meet Applejack, who was trying to bring Apple Bloom to Cherry to say goodbye. Cherry came to the farm where she found Applejack, already prepared to go, and Apple Bloom was with her. As she expected, Apple Bloom didn't react very well to the fact that Cherry Blossom was leaving. Well, why do you hate to go? Apple Bloom asked, crying. You're so happy here with us. I know, my dear, said Cherry, pressing her hoof by her mane. And Blanky promised me you'll see every day, Apple Bloom said. I promised we would see ourselves as I live here, because I thought I would live here for a long time. Cherry said, But my family needs me. I have to go. But what about my brother? Apple Bloom asked. I talked with Big Mac now, and I took leave from him, replied Cherry Blossom. It costed me a lot to do it, but it had to be. But Apple Bloom turned her back, crossed her forelegs, and began to sulk. Come on, my dear, don't be like that. I do not want to go away mad with you. You are my favorite filly, and that will never change. Apple Bloom sulked for a few more seconds, but the truth was she could not be angry with Cherry. She turned to her and gave her a big hug, which Cherry returned. I'll never forget you, and I will not forget you, my little one. They separated themselves, and Applejack said, Shall we? Cherry Blossom waved. But honestly, you can go with Cherry and I don't, Apple Bloom asked her older sister. Cause Cherry just want to go alone, and don't want tea for good fries in her home lion, Applejack replied, making Apple Bloom do pouting. But if it helps, Apple Bloom, I would prefer 1,000 times that you come with me, Cherry said to the little filly who smiled. Can you give a hug to Granny Smith for me? Apple Bloom waved a smile to Cherry. Then she turned to Applejack and waved her as he waved her back. The two then started walking, heading towards the Ponyville's train station. The others were waiting for them. Later, Big Mac came to the farm, where he found Apple Bloom near the barn. Apple Bloom, did you see Cherry Blossom? He asked, barely reaching the edge of her. So we went to the train station to... Apple Bloom began. Apple began Bloom. I barely heard train station. Big Mac hurried away towards the village. You're welcome, Apple Bloom told him. At the train station, the 7 mares were already boarding the train that would take it to the Crystal Empire. All of them had entered, except Cherry Blossom. Before she entered, Cherry looked to Ponyville. She smiled, happy to live in a place as wonderful as that one. She met great friends and the love of her life. Besides, she got up on the train. Oh, please tell me we're about to have a cliche of out of Cherry being on the train and Big Mac riding alongside the train going, Cherry Blossom! Big Mac galloped as far as he could until he reached the train station and reached the boarding platform. The train where Cherry and the others had embarked started walking. No! He exclaimed. Oh my god, we are! Oh my freaking gods, we are! We're doing this cliche! Oh, I love this fic. He tried to follow the train, trying to reach them, but the train picked up speed and moved away quickly. Cherry! Cherry! Big Mac stopped, not wanting to believe he had arrived too late. The bitterness began to grow, and Big Mac was as if his heart was stolen from him, or broken into very small pieces. He knew he would never love anyone as he loved Cherry, that he would never feel the happiness he felt when he was with her. Never again. Again! This is strangely better than the Spider-Man stuff. Or the One Piece fic, or the Wonder Woman fic. And only for the sheer fun I'm having. Night fell. Boom! The Crystal Empire Express proceeded at full speed to its destination. The mares went to sleep for the day. They would take it the next day. but there was some point he couldn't sleep. Cherry Blossom was in the carriage of passengers, sitting and watching the view illuminated by the moonlight. She could not believe she was so close to seeing the people she loved into her home. However, she couldn't feel much enthusiasm. She was happy, but not that happiness was accompanied by enthusiasm, like someone who knows that must to do something but have no desire to do so. Her thoughts were interrupted by a hoof that was placed on her shoulder. She looked at Twilight and smiled at her. Twilight! So you can sleep? Twilight asked in front of Cherry. And I'm not the only one, Cherry nodded. Well, let's say I'm excited to go see my brother, Cadance, and, of course, Blue. He used the Crystal Empire to help my brother with a few things, do my brother's prince duties. You really like Blue, don't you? Cherry asked. I wouldn't date him if I didn't like him, Twilight replied. I like to take things seriously and calmly, but I confess that the things between us are going so well that I now find it hard to be so far from him. To me, it seems briefly you will be going to the altar now, Cherry asked, smiling. Cherry, don't say that, Twilight said, blushing. It's too early for that. First, I want to live my love without commitment with Blue Sword to the fullest. Moreover, Shining Armor barely accepted my relationship with Blue. I think if he asked my help in marriage, my brother would flay him alive. It made Cherry drop a laugh and say, I see. Shining Armor is very protective of you, isn't he? He's just doing his role of overprotective older brother, she replied. Besides that, he's my best friend. He's the pony I trust the most. He took care of me, protected me, and supported me in everything. When I need help, he was always there to offer a helping hoof. When I was sad, he comforted me. Of course, I tried many times to repay his acts, helping him in everything I could. And how did you do it? Cherry asked, curious. Well, even I have a bit of shame of telling it. But let's say I got a little possessive with Shining when he was to marry Cadance. How does that help him? Let's say it was my deep possessiveness by Shining and my deep bond with Cadance that allowed me to distrust. Find that the pony he was marrying was a changeling. A changeling? Cherry asked, remembering the creatures who could take the form of any pony. The queen more specifically, Twilight said. She took Cadance's appearance, kidnapping her. Started to feed Shining Armor's love by Cadance. She messed with his head, and when I accused the false Cadance to be bad, she didn't deserve to marry my brother. He and I had a big disagreement, and ended up with telling him I was no longer his best mare. It was better I didn't show up at the wedding. That's terrible. Yes, but then I could find the true Cadance and defeat the Shining Queen. It's amazing what you did for your big brother. He is my BBFF, after all. I mean, your big brother best friend forever? Asked Cherry. Yeah, how did you know that? Even my friends didn't understand when they heard that for the first time. Just a hunch. You know, right now you look like Pinky. Twilight commented with a laugh. I just hope my mane had not turned pink, Cherry said, causing her and Twilight to have a laugh. But again, I think for Shining Armor, seeing his little sister best friend together is a thing a bit hard to accept. There's a pause, and Cherry said, You know, your relationship with Shining Armor reminds me of my relationship with Daphne. Yeah? Twilight asked. She saved my life when my home, Domino, was attacked, said Cherry. She sacrificed herself for me, and even after that she helped me in everything I could. All I ended up doing for her was bringing her back from her state of non-existence. It seems we got a lot in common, isn't it? I'm still a little mad at that plot point. Darn you, season 6 of Weights! We both have older siblings who are our idols. Yes, it's true, Cherry said. There were pauses while I said, Because of your family, you cannot sleep, huh? Cherry nodded and said, I think I'm too nervous to rest. Probably tomorrow I'll go back to see my parents, my sister, and my friends. But I'm noticing some sadness in your voice, so I said, It's because Big Mac, isn't it? Cherry nodded. Cherry, if you love Big Mac, I don't know if you should get back. So I said, You must fight for your happiness. I'm sure your family and friends would understand. I'm sure of that, but I don't know, Cherry said. I'm confused. I know I said I want to return, but since we left Ponyville, I was filled with hesitations. I understand perfectly, Twilight said, but only you can decide this, Cherry. You must not let the others' opinions manipulate you, even mine. Said this, he stood up and said, You still have time to think about what you really want to do, Cherry. But think very well about what you want. because there is no turning back. So they left the carrots, leaving Terry to think of it, watching the view go by. Next day they arrived at the Crystal Empire. Terry was speechless when she saw it. It was totally made of crystal, from the houses to the streets, shining a lot in the sunlight. When they passed through the entrance, was where 2 pillars made of crystals with 3 blue crystals floating on top between the two, led to the Empire. She saw that up there, the ponies, all Earth ponies, were made of crystal, but the most impressive was the castle. It looked like a single tower with 4 arched lakes and towers out of it. I know, amazing, isn't it? Rainbow said to Terry. I never seen anything like this, said Terry. I already read about the Crystal Empire and the Crystal Ponies, but never thought it was so beautiful. They advanced to the castle. When they got there, they heard a voice called, Twilight! They turned to a unicorn of the same size and structure with blue sword, with a long horn, began to approach. He had a coat that was white as snow. Her mane, a combination of moderate blue and sapphire blue, moderate similarly with petal blue. His eyes were turquoise white and shiny armor! Molly was an alicorn, like Twilight, but Cherry already knew her. She was Princess Cadance, Twilight's sister-in-law, so that the unicorn could be her older brother. His theory proved to be correct when he arrived and gave a big hug to Twilight, who returned the hug. It's so good to see you, little sis, he said. Me too, baby BFF, she replied. The two then separated, and Twilight returned to Cadance. Cadance, she called her, going to her. Hello, Twilight, Cadance agreed. The two began to song and dance. Sunshine, sunshine, laying by the lake. Clap your heels and do a little shake. The fans would shake her tail and laugh and gave each other a hug. After that, Twilight introduced Cherry. Shining, Cadance, this is Cherry Blossom, our new friend from Ponyville. Hello, she greeted shyly. It's a pleasure to greet you, Cherry, Cadance said. A friend Twilight is also our friend, Shining said. Thank you, she thanked. It's very kind of your part. What brings you here so suddenly? Cadance asked. I think maybe you didn't come here for a courtly visit, did you? Shining asked. If you don't mind, we would rather talk about it later, Twilight replied, while the others waved. Now, we were wondering if you could use the room with the dimensional mirror. But why? Cadance asked. That mirror is only activated in each and every 30 moons. Later, we'll tell you, Twilight said. Now we have to go do something. Where's Blue? I'd like to go greet him. Why would you want to know? Shining Armor asked. Don't you want to be with your dear brother anymore? Then, either Cadance or Twilight made a stare at Shining that made her shrink and give a nervous laugh. But then responded Twilight is rolling in the eyes. He's training. You still a place? Twilight asked. Shining Armor nodded, and Twilight returned to her friends and asked, You mind if I go? I go there and return a double. Twilight, you can take as long as you like, Cherry said. There's no hurry. Yeah, you can go to your beloved, Rainbow said. We waited for you, dear. Thank you, girls, Twilight thanked. Then Twilight started trying towards the other side of the Empire. Shining Armor pretended to follow her. Darn you, first alarm! But was stopped by Cadance's magic and said to him, You, come with me. Let there be Twilight and Blue Sword, since you don't trust them. I trust them, but I can't stop thinking about what they may be doing. They then moved away. The other mares gave a laugh, and when they went inside the castle, Cherry marveled. The castle was even more beautiful on the inside than the outside. They then entered a room full of artifacts. They found a large and adorned mirror at the top of the 2 levels, which was forming as steps. Well, here it is, Applejack said. The magic mirror. Pinkie Pie did advance the mirror, looked at the whole place on it, glancing service. Oh, what's that sparking? She said disappointed. Of course not, Pinkie dear, replied Rarity, straightening her mane. Attila, it not have yet passed 30 moons since Twilight came back from that strange wilderness he left. Oh yeah, she was up there with Spike, right? Cherry called. Yeah, a former student, Princess Celestia, appeared and stole Twilight and ended up taking it to the world beyond the mirror. Twilight went there to recover it, Rainbow told. We were afraid that she didn't return. Also, it would be terrible if she had to stay there for another 30 moons. The portal closed before she could return, Fireside said. Fortunately, it didn't happen, Applejack said. Cherry had heard many stories about Twilight and her accents, and the more he heard, the more adoration she felt for her. Soon, Twilight was back, straightening her mane, which was a little misaligned. Well, I see you both had a great moment, huh? She said in a provocative way. Don't be silly, Rainbow, Twilight said, blushing slightly. And when they focus on what brought us here, It seemed like an excellent idea. Twilight turned to Cherry and asked her, "You ready?" She nodded. So Twilight and the others formed a circle around her, putting the elements of harmony. Twilight had her crown, but the others had a gold necklace that had pendants that would represent their key marks. You know! Twilight began to focus her magic on her horn. It was starting to glow. Their eyes shone with white light. The star of her crown also began to shine, beginning to free two tentacles with the color of the rainbow, and connecting the necklace's pendants until they are connected. You know, this fic could use a Discord. Twilight made a sign to her friends, and six began to say in unison, "By the power of harmony, with the portal this mirror to accommodate its new residents. Fast and clear honesty. Beautiful kindness. Wonderful laughter. Gracious generosity. And strong loyalty. Open the portal! Now, I inflict the most powerful force of all. The power of the magic of friendship! Only a pony people can this life sound so badass." The five beams cast a binding beam that hit Twilight's crown and the a star to show more intensely, once the rainbow beam to hit the mirror, making it shine a light. And that's it ceased. "So, did it work?" Cherry asked. "We'll see," Twilight said. "Pinkie, do you want the honor?" Pinkie Pie let out a gasp of excitement that made it look like he was having an attack or something. So he then approached the mirror, extended again his hoof, and passed it across the mirror's surface. You know, guys, you can really make a drinking game of how many times this fake decides to turn one of the girls into a guy. Instead of touching a flat surface, it seemed to touch a tiny lake surface. Pinkie was all fascinated by it. It was necessary. Twilight used her magic to ward her off from the mirror. "Okay, that's enough, Terry. Everything is ready for you. It's better you hurry or the portal will close. It can only be opened in the next century." Terry turned to the mirror. It was there the portal would take her back home. She waited for that moment for months. She was happy, but not totally happy. She shook her head and turned to her pony friends and told them, "Thank you for everything you did for me. I'll never forget you." So, if we're nearing the end, and Cherry's about to go home, why are there two chapters? "We'll never forget you too, Cherry. It's a pinky promise. Cause my heart held the fire stick a cupcake in my eye. See if you can find some way to communicate with us," Maggie said, dropping a few tears and using her handkerchief to wipe them. "I will consult all the books I can here to find a way to communicate with you," Twilight promised. "Thank you, girls," Cherry thanked. She then looked at Applejack and Rainbow. The first one advanced to her and said, "Cherry, I still think you're making a foolishness. You should stay here and play happy with Blake Mac. But I support you 100% on that." "Thank you, AJ. It means a lot to me." She then looked at Rainbow and saw that she was trying to hide the tears. "Rainbow, are you crying?" Cherry half laughing. "Of course not," she said quickly, wiping her eyes. "Crying's not part of my style." That made Cherry drop a laugh. "Goodbye, Cherry," Rainbow said. "Goodbye, Rainbow," Cherry said. Then she turned to the mirror, took a deep breath, and began to move towards him. There was a bright light, was blinded all, and when it stopped, they looked and saw the Lord of Order in front of the mirror. "Well, who the hell is that?" Applejack asked. "That's the one who sent Cherry to here," Rainbow said. "The Lords of Order." "It's an honor to meet these representatives of the elements of harmony personally," he grinned. He can slink bow to each of the six ponies. "I confess I'm a big fan of yours." "Oh, shut up," Rainbow said. "I bet you're here to stop Cherry from coming back." "I feel myself offended," the Lord of Order said. "Seems I'll do something to make it happen." "Excuse to try, even," Cherry said. "I'll go through the mirror, and there's nothing you can do about it." "I was not going to do anything," the Lord of Order said. "After all, you're free to do whatever you want. Come on, forward." And then finally chased her, retaining and putting himself next to the mirror. That left Cherry confused. "Wait, you'll do anything to stop me?" she asked. He shook his head. "Probably a trap, Cherry. Yeah, you shouldn't trust him." "Calm down, girls," Twilight said. "If what you and Cherry told me about the Lord of Order is true, Rainbow, so he's a representative of the Order himself. So he can't lie." "I thought I already said that." But Cherry didn't want to know any more of that. She had a time limit to go through the mirror. It was not going to waste it. Massey Mirror was right in front of the Lord of Order said, "You sure you really want to do that, Cherry?" Mirror looked at him and continued, "If you do it, you cannot go back anymore. Because I've used my spell to send you here. and no one in your world can accomplish it. So you have to wait until the next century. But I think there will be a little later, don't you think? If your ghost tries to swing me or distract me for the portal to close, it's wasting time. The Lord Vor pointed a finger to the portal, and caused a lightning bolt to hit the portal, but nothing happened. Voila, he said. Now we can talk as long as you want. But why would he do that to the portal? He should have stabilized the portal for it to remain open as long as he wants. Twilight realized. But what's he up to? Rainbow asked. I don't know why, but I get the impression it'll open Cherry's ass. Answering one question, Princess Blue. Sure you want to come back. Of course, yes, Cherry said. Lord Aurora laughed when he said, My dear, as I cannot lie, I can see when someone lies to me. You're not being honest. What? Yes, you want to return. But there is something you want that keeps you from running into this mirror. Continued Lord Aurora. You attained the happiness you had given up before you came to Equestria. You even managed to overcome it. You really want to give it up again. Do you want to win back your fairy wings, knowing what it cost you? You integrated yourself so much in this world, it's now your new world. If you come back, you will feel the same emptiness you felt when you got here. You're unable to love someone like the love you feel for Big Mac. The loss of a great love can be replaced by another one. The loss of a second great love can be devastating. Willing to come back, your time here was a waste of time. Words of order beat Lane Cherry's sweet spot. Seeming knew exactly what disturbed her. It was easy to slay her to say. It was doing its job. So what is your final decision? Cherry didn't answer, merely thinking about what he said. The other wants expectance. Cherry Blossom thought well what he was doing. That would be the decisions he would take. She messaged well the pros and cons of her departure to this homeworld. But only one side had significant weight, for one reason. To turn to the Lord of Aurora and ask, Can I ask you a favor? Of course, my dear. Anything you want.